The Serapium boxes of Saqqara are one of history's greatest puzzles. These colossal granite structures were found in 1850 by a French archaeologist named Auguste Mariette in an underground maze in Saqqara, Egypt. They weren't just large, they were massive, with some weighing between 70 and 100 tons, equivalent to the weight of a fully loaded semi-truck. These underground tunnels, dark and narrow, hold 24 of these mysterious boxes, each one a masterpiece of craftsmanship. The official explanation says they were sarcophagi for Apis bulls, sacred animals worshipped as incarnations of the god Ptah. But does that really make sense? Why would the ancient Egyptians, as advanced as they were, go to such lengths to bury bulls? And how did they even manage to create and move these boxes in the first place? Let's find out one of Egypt's greatest mysteries. The Serapium boxes are made of granite, some sourced from Aswan, a region over 500 miles south of Saqqara. Transporting a single block weighing over 200 tons would be an enormous challenge even today, with modern machinery and roads. Back then, in 3000 BC, the tools were basic, mostly copper chisels and stone hammers. How could these tools carve granite, a material so hard it can only be cut today with diamond-tipped drills? Once the massive granite blocks arrived, they were hollowed out and polished to a mirror-like finish. The interiors are so precise that modern engineers have found deviations of less than a fraction of a millimeter. Even the corners are perfect right angles, something that would be hard to achieve without advanced tools. How did the ancient workers deep underground achieve such perfection? And then there's the placement of these boxes. The underground tunnels are just 2 feet wider than the boxes themselves, leaving almost no room for workers to move. Somehow, they maneuvered these giant structures through tight spaces, lowered them into notches in the floor, and aligned them perfectly. These tunnels are also dark, with minimal ventilation, making the task even more difficult. Was it sheer determination and manpower, or something else entirely? One of the boxes sits abandoned in the middle of a tunnel, unfinished. It has no sledges or supports underneath, and there's no evidence of how it was moved. It looks like the workers just left it there, as if something happened that forced them to stop suddenly. What could have caused such a sudden halt in their work? The carvings on some of the boxes add another layer of mystery. These hieroglyphs are rough and amateurish, completely different from the polished surfaces of the boxes. They seem out of place, as if they were added much later by people who didn't understand the craftsmanship behind the boxes. Could the Serapium boxes have been made by one civilization and then reused by another? The sheer size of these boxes is mind-boggling. The largest ones are over 13 feet long and 6 feet wide, with walls up to a foot thick. Even the lids are massive, some weighing around 30 tons. The effort to quarry, transport, carve, and polish these structures is almost unimaginable. Yet these boxes were buried underground, hidden from view, with no apparent purpose beyond housing the remains of sacred bulls. Some of the boxes are made from a type of granite found in the eastern desert, which is even farther away than Aswan. To move these blocks across rugged terrain without rivers or roads would have required an incredible amount of manpower and ingenuity. Could they have used sledges and sand, as some historians suggest? If so, how did they prevent the enormous weight of the stones from sinking into the sand? And how did they manage this feat repeatedly, not just for one box, but for 24? Adding to the mystery is the fact that these boxes aren't just rough-hewn stones. They are polished to a reflective finish, both inside and out. Researchers believe a chemical solution may have been used to achieve this effect. Traces of an unknown residue have been found on some of the lids, suggesting a lost technique. What was this substance, and how did the ancient Egyptians discover it? Modern engineers have tried to recreate the Serapium boxes using today's technology. The results? It's an extremely challenging task. Even with advanced machinery, the process of quarrying one single block, transporting it, and hollowing it out would require enormous effort and resources. In fact, most engineers today would opt to assemble a box using 6 smaller pieces rather than carve it from a single block. Yet the Serapium boxes were made from a single stone. Why go to such lengths? Some of the lids show signs of damage, likely from ancient raiders trying to break into the boxes, but the interiors remain pristine, polished to perfection. This raises more questions. If these boxes were meant to house mummified bulls, why was so much effort put into perfecting the inside? It seems like wasted effort for something that was never meant to be seen. Why were other Apis bulls found in wooden coffins near the Serapeum of Saqqara? This question brings us closer to the heart of the mystery. If the granite boxes house sacred bulls, why didn't all Apis bulls receive the same treatment? Wooden coffins, far easier to craft and transport, suggest that these granite boxes weren't just practical containers for mummified animals. Instead, they might have had a deeper purpose, one still hidden from us. There's another puzzle. Why use granite at all? Most Egyptian projects relied on limestone, a softer, more malleable stone that's abundant in Saqqara itself. So why choose granite, a material so hard and heavy that even modern tools struggle to cut it? The answer might lie in granite's unique properties. Unlike limestone, granite is non-porous, making it excellent for creating airtight containers. This characteristic has led some researchers to propose a startling theory. Russian researcher Konstantin Borisov suggests that granite's high quartz content might have been the key to the box's purpose. Under immense pressure, quartz can generate an electrical charge, a phenomenon called piezoelectricity. If these boxes were meant to trap gases or withstand intense internal pressure, granite would have been the perfect choice. Borisov theorized that these boxes, when sealed, could have acted as giant energy storage devices or pressure chambers. He even speculated that the boxes might have emitted light under the right conditions, a concept supported by the lack of soot or burn marks on the tunnel walls. How could ancient workers navigate these dark underground spaces without torches? Could the boxes themselves have been a source of illumination? A 19th century sketch of the boxes adds another layer of intrigue. The drawing shows stones piled on top of the lids, seemingly to increase the pressure inside. But why would anyone go to such lengths to trap something inside these boxes? If they were just coffins, what would have required this extreme level of sealing? Mainstream archaeologists describe scenes of hundreds of workers carving and transporting these massive blocks through narrow tunnels. But why were these tunnels so tight, with barely any space for people to move? Why were these boxes finished underground, in such challenging conditions? And why repeat this process 24 times for bulls, while other Apis bulls rested in simple wooden coffins? This level of effort suggests a purpose far beyond ordinary burial practices. Some researchers, like Christopher Dunn, have proposed that the Serapium boxes and other ancient Egyptian structures were part of a larger network of energy-harnessing devices. Dunn's studies on the Great Pyramid of Giza suggest it might have served as an energy generator, and the boxes could fit into a similar framework. Could the ancient Egyptians, or even an older civilization, have been experimenting with advanced technology? The idea of an ancient advanced civilization isn't new. Graham Hancock, a controversial researcher, has long argued that human history includes a forgotten chapter, one in which technology and science rivaled our own. Hancock believes a great flood or another cataclysm wiped out this civilization, leaving behind only remnants like the Serapium boxes. Could the Egyptians have inherited these structures, much like we inherit artifacts from the past? This might explain the crude carvings on the otherwise flawless boxes. Perhaps the Egyptians repurposed them, adding hieroglyphs that pale in comparison to the box's engineering brilliance. The box's dimensions add weight to this theory. The largest ones are over 13 feet long and 6.5 feet wide, with walls so precisely cut that deviations measure less than a human hair's thickness. The interiors are polished to a reflective sheen, even though they were meant to remain unseen. The lids alone weigh up to 30 tons, and they fit so snugly that creating an airtight seal was inevitable. If these were just coffins, why this extreme level of craftsmanship? Let's return to Borisov's theory. If these boxes were used for high-pressure processes, what might they have been containing or creating? Could they have been trapping gases, generating energy, or conducting experiments we can't even begin to understand? The lack of soot in the tunnels suggests no traditional light sources were used. Were the boxes themselves glowing, as Borisov suggested? If so, what powered them? Critics argue there's no direct evidence of machinery or advanced technology in ancient Egypt. But certain artifacts challenge this view. Drill holes in granite, for example, show marks consistent with high-speed tools. A cylindrical granite artifact found near the Great Pyramid has a continuous spiral groove, something that would require precise rotation to create. These examples suggest that ancient civilization might have had tools we don't yet understand, or perhaps that these tools were lost in time. The idea of lost technology ties into myths and legends from cultures worldwide. Many speak of a great flood or cataclysm that erased a previous civilization. If such a disaster occurred, could it have destroyed evidence of the tools and techniques used to create the serapium boxes? What if the Egyptians, like us, found these structures and could only guess at their original purpose? The mystery of the serapium boxes leave us with more questions than answers. Why were they buried underground? Why choose granite, a material so difficult to work with? How did ancient craftsmen achieve such precision without advanced tools? And why did they polish the interiors to perfection as if expecting someone or something to see them? Were these boxes simply the final resting place for the sacred bulls? Or were they part of a grander, forgotten purpose tied to energy, technology, or science far beyond what we've imagined? The possibilities are as fascinating as they are endless, and the serapium boxes remain one of the greatest enigmas of human history. If you enjoyed unraveling this mystery, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your theories. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.